Alright, so this video, or this lesson, just like the other lessons we've done in the last couple nights, is going to be all about lines, but we're also going to start to talk about angles, which is what is going to make this more geometry than algebra, which is what it's basically been for the last couple days. So we're going to talk about lines and angles, and I'm going to draw some lines. We're going to draw a couple of lines, and these lines are going to be pretty random. Not going to be anything really special about it. Okay, so I drew two lines. They're clearly not parallel, right? So don't make parallel lines. Just draw some lines. And then I'm going to run another line through them that intersects both of them. So this will be line K. This will be line L. Make it where this is the only thing in my picture now. And then I'm going to have my red line. And just like the last couple of videos, I'm going to call this line T. But T actually stands for something. There's a reason I've been calling it T. T stands for transversal. Transversal is a line that intersects multiple lines. So line T intersects line K and line L, and there's nothing else special about that. It just intersects them. But what does happen, which is kind of special, is we create a whole lot of angles. So we've created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 angles, right? Just by intersecting a few lines. All of these angles are related to each other in one way or another, and that's what we're going to spend the next 2 or 3 days talking about. But before we talk about them, you've got to be able to identify them and know which ones we're talking about, so we're not always having to say, okay, angle 1 and 3, angle 1 and 6, angle 1 and 8. They're going to have a name, and they're always going to be in pairs, and we're going to just write down a way for you to remember the names. So when you look at the transversal, you should see that angle 1, 3, 5, and 7 are all on the same side of the transversal, aren't they? So I'm going to say that 1, 3, 5, and 7 are on the same side. And then also 2, 4, 6, and 8 are on the same side also, right? So then that just leaves, how am I going to talk about angles that are on different sides, right? So 1 and 3 are same side angles. But what about 1 and 2, or 1 and 4, or 1 and 6, or 1 and 8? Well, I'm going to say that 1, 3, 5, 7, and 2, 4, 6, 8 are on alternate sides, okay? So they're on alternate sides. So 1 and 2 are on opposite sides. 1 and 4, 1 and 6, 1 and 8. Alternate sides. So now we could talk about where they are, right? If they're on alternate sides or same sides. But that's still not enough because we want to get really specific about where these are located. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to draw a rectangle on my picture here. And you should go ahead and do this yourself. Okay, you don't have to be super specific about where it is. It just needs to encompass all the angles, kind of like I did here. Because I want to be able to talk more specifically about where these angles are located. So if I said same side angles, I could be talking about 1 and 3, 1 and 5, or 1 and 7, right? So that's not real specific. If I said, hey, let's talk about the same side angles, well, that's 4 different angles for us to think about. So we're going to split them up even more. And the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to color code everything. You could just do this by shading with your pencil. But for these yellow sections that I've colored here, right, we're looking now at the blue lines. If you had to describe where these yellow sections are based on the blue lines, would you say they are between the blue lines or not between? And you'll see they're not between, right? So the word we're going to use for that, though, is a word that means outside, and it's a word we've already used talking about angles. It's the word exterior. All right? So what do you think we're going to call the angles that are in here? Okay? We're going to call these the interior. So now we can talk about angles being same side, exterior, or alternate, interior, and really get specific about what we're talking about. So I'm going to, and you're going to, write down all the names of all the angles and use all the combinations we can think of. So I'm going to start out with alternate interior angles, right? Alternate interior angles. So I'm going to look alternate sides. So 1 and 2, well, they're not in the interior, so that's kind of a waste of time. So I'm going to go just to the green section. Now, 3 and 4 are on alternate sides, and they're on the interior. But so are 3 and 6. So it's still a little confusing. But if you remember, you already know a name for angle 3 and angle 4. Angle 3 and angle 4 form a linear pair. So we don't need to rename them as something else. We're just going to focus on the ones that we don't already have names for. So 3 and 6, angle 3 and angle 6 are alternate interior angles, and so are angle 4 and angle 5. So then we can, and that's all of them, right? We've used every interior angle. So now we can do alternate exterior angles, right? So we're going to go alternate sides and only in the yellow. Well, 1 and 2, but again, 1 and 2 are a linear pair, so we don't need to worry about them. They've got a name. But angle 1 and angle 8 are alternate exterior, and so are angle 2 and angle 7. So we're going to keep going now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've used every single one of our alternating angles, right? So now we're going to go and try some same side. Same side, interior. All right, so same side, 1, 3, 5, 7. Interior really limits us down to just 3 and 5. So angle 3 and angle 5, and also angle 4 and angle 6. Okay, so then we'll name our same side exterior. So exterior, same side. So 2, 4, 6, 8. But we don't need 4 and 6, right? Because they're interior. 3 and 5 we don't need because they're interior. So our exterior, same side exterior angles are going to be angle 1, angle 7, angle 2, and angle 8. And these are called angle pairs. So if I said, what are the alternate interior angles? You would say angle 3 and angle 6, and angle 4 and angle 5. They're pairs. They go together. And there's one more kind of pairs that we're going to talk about, and they're called corresponding angles. These are really easy to do, and tomorrow when we do our video, you're going to do some stuff with them that makes it really easy. But for now, you just need to be able to identify them. So let's say that I was able to take this little circle that I drew of angles and cut it out. So I cut it out, and I could pick it up. Well, when I picked it up, if I set it back down where I put this point on this point, okay, I'd have this circle like this on there, right? And I know it's not to scale, but get over it. Your drawing's probably bad too. So angle 1 would land where angle 5 is, right? If I pick this up and set it on this, so that means that angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles. Angle 2 and angle 6, angle 3 and angle 7, and then angle 4 and angle 8 are all corresponding angles. So what you need to be able to do when you come into class tomorrow is name and talk about all these different types of angles. So when I say something about alternate exterior angles, you should know that I mean this angle and this angle, or this angle and this angle. And we really limit the amount of possibilities for what we can be talking about, right? It really narrows it down. So come in with questions tomorrow, and that's it.